Thank you, Brian. Today's Behind the Badge. We're coming to you live. By the way, it's a chilly morning in Logansport, Louisiana. This is Logansport High School, their football field, because there is a Cinderella story going on down here. It involves a 13-year-old boy named Alex in the 8th grade, the sheriff of the Soto Parish, Jayson Richardson, and the kicker that kicked the New Orleans Saints into the Superdome.
Because he is the Saints kicking consultant, and he has been the mentor for Garrett Hartley, who is about to attempt to kick the Saints into the first Super Bowl in their 43-year history.
Some things you don't forget.
Snap, placement, kick by Hartley, and it is good! It's good! It's good! Pigs have flown! Hell is frozen over! The Saints are on their way.
If you think
Super
that was a
Bowl.
pressure cooker, think about this.
When they put that one up,
The Logansport Tigers have just scored on Lakeview.
I wasn't expecting that.
Coach McKee wants a PAT.
My heart was beating a lot because it was packed a little bit. So I was a little afraid.
There would be 9 of those PATs that night.
It was 9 for 9.
9?
Which is first in my career in 22 years.
27 out of 30 over 4 games.
And I can tell you.
And Alex is even making tackles on kickoffs.
And we look up about, I don't know, the 3rd, 4th, 5th time he kicked off, he's in on the tackle. And I said, man, hey, it just keeps getting better.
That's a beautiful thing. All right, that's right, Coach, because after KTBS spent a morning with 13-year-old Alex, the sheriff of DeSoto Parish, Jayson Richardson,
that was on the news and said, hey, check this out. If you're up in the area at your parents again, would you be interested in maybe stopping by and saying hi and sharing some experience with him? And he was all in, absolutely.
He is the guy somewhere in that mass of humanity back in 2010.
Confetti fills the air.
The Garrett Hartley that sent the Saints into the Super Bowl and then kicks 3 40-plus yarders to help them win it. The same Garrett Hartley that has become good friends with Sheriff Richardson.
Contact felt good, huh?
And this past Monday afternoon shared some time.
So I promise, if you drive through it, especially if it's into the wind a little bit.
With the boy who, until about 5 weeks ago, had never kicked a football in his life.
Dude, you don't need me here, man. I need to be taking notes from you.
Oh, and one more thing. The Logansport Tigers are pretty good this year.
Let's see
So
if
it's
I can-
possible that young Alex could, in just a few weeks, be kicking a football in the same place where that other miracle happened 14 years ago. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus.
I can't wait. Just in the big stadium, packed in the Superdome, kicking field goals, making extra points for this team.
Oh, I love that last shot there. That was 14 years ago when the Saints kicker, Garrett Hartley, kicked them into the Super Bowl. Of course, they won the Super Bowl. He was the kicker in the Super Bowl, 3 40-yard kicks. So what's going to be really cool, if this Cinderella story plays out and 13-year-old Alex is kicking in the Superdome for the state championship, that scene that you just saw there with Saints fans could be repeated with Logansport Tiger fans. It's all possible, but it would not have been possible unless we had showed up here as we did on Monday morning and that the sheriff of DeSoto Parish made the call to his friend. They share a common love for hunting and shooting. And those two friends got together, and Monday afternoon, they were right here on this field. How about that? I want to take you to a scene. This is Behind the Badge. We're in Logansport Louisiana. This is their football field. But I want to take you to a scene. This has happened 14 years ago. And a lot of you who are big Saints fans, I remember this. Everybody's going to remember this. This is the video of their kicker, Garrett Hartley, kicking a field goal that sent the Saints, for the very first time in their history at that time, 43 years, into the Super Bowl. Here it goes. And as you can imagine, it was pandemonium. Now, why do I bring that up? I'll tell you why. Come over. Jayson Richardson is the sheriff here in Soto Parish. Now, you have gotten to know Garrett Hartley, retired Saints kicker, in recent years, business, and also a shared passion for hunting and shooting. Right. Okay, so we were here Monday a week ago doing a little story with Alex and Coach from Logansport High School, talking about this 8th grader that was going to be the kicker, first time he'd ever kicked a football in his life. You saw the story that we did. You sent that to your friend, Garrett. What happened?
Yeah, so I knew he was going to be in the area this week, and so I sent that to him, and he was coming over. We were going to have lunch, and we had an outing planned, and so I sent it to him and said, "Hey, you think while you're here, you know, we might could make a day of it and maybe spend some time with Alex?" And man, he was all in, and so that's what we did. You know, we lined it up and called Coach, and Coach was pumped up about it, and so we were, you know, just super excited to be able to bring Garrett here. And Garrett's got a lot of knowledge.
Yes.
And so he, in their background, you know, Alex being a soccer player,
right.
Garrett's background was in soccer, and so there's, you know, there's some kinship there when it comes to the techniques and all of that.
Yes.
And so it's going to be a neat relationship.
Absolutely. And the correlation between Garrett kicking the Saints into the Super Bowl and then kicking 3 40-yard field goals in the Super Bowl, helping them win that game, and the possibility, because it is a possibility, Logansport's pretty good this year. First round of the playoffs is tonight. There's a chance, pretty good chance, I think, they could be in the Superdome state championship, and little Alex could be kicking in the same place that Garrett kicked.
That's correct. And Garrett will be there if that happens.
I bet he would be. And in fact, he said, I want to mention this to all of you, really good guy. You could tell this is just a good guy. And he said this is not the only time he's going to come visit and spend some time with Alex and give him some practice and some pointers. I think there's no doubt that this is a relationship that will continue. But I do want to mention that none of it would have happened except for you taking the time to send that video to your friend, the Saints kicker, and all of this transpired because of that. So we love these guys who wear the badge. That's why we do this series, Behind the Badge, and this is just one more example of a guy who wears the badge, has for a while, sheriff of DeSoto Parish, doing something good and something really good coming from that. Coming back to y'all.
That's awesome to see, too. And I think here, if I'd be willing to bet, I know Brian Kelly's going to be watching what unfolds there in Logansport, and Sheriff Richardson definitely maybe doing his part to load up that Tiger team in the next couple years. So.
It's all about the connections.
That would be awesome. The Cinderella story continues.
All right, Rick.
Very cool.
Thank you. If you know anyone involved with any police department in the Arklatex or any first responder and want to tell their story and show the human side of law enforcement, email your stories to behindthebadge@ktbs.com.